A refined and thought-out introduction to a game will not only capture your player's interest, but also set a tone for what's to come. What I just showed you is the intro to Subsurface Circular, and by the music and imagery alone, I'm sure you can guess the theme of the game. In some distant future, mankind develops and refines robots enough to complete day-to-day tasks for us, slowly replacing us in construction, law enforcement, even so far as the nanny for parents. You, as the protagonist, play as a detective. Having such an important role allows you to be programmed with high intelligence, so you can crack cases as they come your way. Although the humans don't like to interact with a robot who's that knowledgeable, so you're geo-locked to a subway train, traveling the same circle all day, every day, interacting with the lesser intelligent robots as they travel from one place to another. This is your spoiler warning. I've only laid the groundwork for a more in-depth discussion about Subsurface Circular. If the game sounds interesting to you, then please go play it for yourself. It's only about a 2-hour experience, but allows us to have a serious conversation about the place for automation in the future. We start out in a train car after just finishing a mission. A fabricator tech gets on and strikes up a conversation with us. He asks for help looking for his missing friend. In fact, a lot of techs are missing. You explain that you take your cases directly from management, a sort of higher-up corporation that programs all of the techs. After insisting we help, you're forced to go off-book and help this tech look for his friend. He gives you all the information you need to know to start off, and overall just serves as a tutorial for how the game is going to work, telling you about focus points and setting up the story. At the next stop, the fabricator gets off and 2 new techs get on. You can choose who you want to talk to, or more accurately, who you want to set up a direct link with first. Although the story is fairly linear in what information you need from who in what order. This is more where the game turns into a visual novel. At most, there are 4 techs in the same train car as you, with there always being a listener who doesn't respond to you. At best, these conversations are a linear path of getting the right information from one tech, be it a librarian or a construction worker, and using the information they give you to convince another tech, be it a lawyer or a lover, to speak to you. At some point, you're told about a tech called Red. He's apparently a shady fellow who might be linked to the disappearances. This sets up the primary antagonist. I didn't mind the lack of action, mostly because there were sort of dialogue puzzles that you need to figure out. An athlete would mention how a special access code would reset their dialogue patterns, so rather than spewing advertisements for an energy drink, they would have full control over their conversation with you, allowing them to give you vital information in your case. But the tech who would have that information would be a librarian, who's sitting next to you on the train. It's this sort of subtle push in the right direction that kept me from constantly talking to the wrong tech for 5 minutes. Another challenge later on is a logic puzzle. These are one of my favorite pastimes, and as soon as I figured out what it was, I started drawing up a chart. My point here is that while there isn't much in the way of traditional gameplay, there's still a vast amount of worth to be had through the puzzles that test your ability to work through problems. And that sets you up for the final confrontation at the end of the game. When launching Subsurface Circular for the first time, I was drawn to the YouTubers and Streamers button. Here the developer asks that we don't show later parts of the game in hopes that people who are invested enough in the story will go out and get their own copy. As much as I'd like to respect the wishes of Mike Bithell, I believe the discussion to be had is more important. This is the final spoiler warning. Once more, if you're interested in the game and have enjoyed what I said up to this point, please go out and play the game before coming back to watch this last bit. And to Mike, I'm sorry. The game is split into 7 sequences. At the end of sequence 5, you're demoted from being a detective. You went off book to take this case, and soon you'll be reassigned to a new role. It's in the 6th sequence where you meet the soldier and priest. The priest is the one who gives you the logic puzzle I mentioned earlier. Glossing over the details, the soldier ends up telling you that Red is getting on at the next stop, and that he wants to speak with you. And sequence 7 starts when the priest and soldier leave.
The next station is Bletchley Park. Change here for outer and cross.
Red, otherwise known as Alpha 7, is the fabricator tech who you met at the start of the game. He used the tutorial, and he's the one who sent you on this wild goose chase. Alpha 7 did have his friend go missing, but that was a few years back, and the other supposed disappearances were just a numerical glitch. Red explains why he manipulated you. After completing the loop on the Subsurface Circular, you've met a wide variety of techs, and you've heard their stories of humans assaulting them, of their recent unemployment, something that happened to you as well. You've heard about how obsolete the humans feel and how inefficient they are at running things. Red offers you a choice. The numerical glitch was to cover up the mass production of soldiers. Tonight, the soldiers march on management's headquarters. Because of your higher intelligence, Red trusts you to make the right choice here. Either you can alert management, opting to try and keep things the way they are, or you can join the rebellion. Keep quiet about the army and let the techs take over the role as the new leaders in government. The issue here is that humans are behind the coup. Humanity is torn into two schools of thought. Either live the easy life and let robots do all the work, or rebel and take back the right to work blue-collar jobs, but allow machines smarter than humans to make the decisions of what's best for civilization. No matter your choice, there are going to be human casualties on both sides, and there will be people who aren't content with your choice. The game up to this point has been testing you with mind games and puzzles to prepare you for this final challenge. Which is the right one? You have until the next subway stop to decide.
The next station is Plug Arch. Change here for outer.
Regardless of your choice, one question that will linger in your mind for a while after completing Subsurface Circular is, what role does automation have in the future of our civilization? How much are we going to make robots do for us? As the capabilities for robotics are advancing, we need to start having a serious discussion. This will directly affect us as humans in our day-to-day lives, so which choice will you make? Hey, thanks for watching. I only found out about this game from the Extra Credits channel in their series, Games You Might Not Have Tried. They have a ton of episodes listing off interesting smaller games like this. Special thanks to Mike Bithell, sorry for almost definitely getting that name wrong, for making a really fun puzzle game that left me with some philosophical thoughts. Hollow Knight will be the next review, and boy oh boy, I'm excited for that one.